Blizzard Nation? Welcome to Strictly Blizzness, episode 169, remote on location. One of us is in a kitchen. One of us has a better view.
I do have, well, I don't know. I like your kitchen, but
Thank you.
I'm gonna the blue behind you by the cabinets kind of matches the blue of the water
Yeah,
here.
I'd rather have your blue. So,
No, Larry's trying to wave to you, but doesn't realize I have the camera the other way.
oh, got it.
So Blizzard fans, though, that was Larry that said hi, Ryan, in the background.
Awesome. Well, right off the bat, regardless if Kathy and I are in the same spot or not, huge thank you to Creative Edge and Edge VR Arcade and Cousin Subs for making Strictly Business possible. Cousin Subs with promo code,
GBB fries.
which you can do online from Cabo, but have to order for pickup in Green Bay.
Yes,
So,
it's a little breezy here, so I'm heading indoors.
nice.
Ooh, that's a little too close up. Okay, we're gonna try and
The
do
things we
something
learn
different.
on Strictly for 300, Alex. What is camera angles?
We'll do it from here. This looks better.
Nice.
All right. Awesome. Now it just looks like I'm in bed. Well, that's fabulous.
Here we go.
Well, it is 2 hours earlier here, so it's actually a little after 7 here. But we had a game.
Sure did. It was a good one.
We won. We won.
Yep. Yes.
So a couple things about the game. Yes, we won, but Ryan, we always say this is one of the hardest matchups for us because on the behind the scenes, these guys are some of our favorite people, right? So I'm sure they would say the same, that it's tough because, like before the game, I gave some love to Destiny and was giving some love to Coach Corey, and just their whole staff is fabulous. I was back in their locker room when they had just gotten to the arena, and shout out to Coach Corey. He was not on the field, so I don't know if people noticed this.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on a little scooter, so he was trying to find a way to kind of be up top in the arena because he was not going to be able to be on the field. So shout out to him and all of his staff, because although they didn't play their best game, it was still good to have them in the house, and they were still a challenge. I mean, it wasn't. They stopped us a few times, and yeah, but we won. At the end of the day, we won.
I would echo the same. I got to say hi to Destiny before the game and have some real cool stuff in the works for 26, which is crazy to say when we're only halfway through the 25 home games, but that's how we were running here. So great organization, and on the field, we have a job to do, but off the field, we respect those folks a ton. So
yeah, absolutely. And we've been saying within the IFL that we want to get commercials from both participants in the game, and we did that with Quad Cities. We haven't been able to do that with everybody because there's different production companies handling different venues, but in our venue, that's Joey as well as PMI. So for us, it was great to get some Quad Cities commercials in along with our commercials during the production, which hopefully people noticed.
yeah, awesome. What this isn't like ending the episode. What else you got? But I know you have other stuff. So.
I got other stuff. So
Yep.
most of my stuff is fan related. I was extremely touched at the beginning before we even walked into the arena. Our little friend Bentley, I shouldn't call him little because although he's short in stature, he's a big personality and doing some big things. But earlier this season, as you all know, we auctioned off some shoes, and it was really cool to see those shoes that he worked on with Zane. And help me with Zane's last name.
I don't know.
Nice. But Bentley presented me with a pair of shoes along with his parents that have, as you see in the pictures, they have Strictly Blizzness on one side and Green Bay Blizzard on the other. And I can't tell you how many people were like, where'd you get those shoes? We need those shoes. So Zane, we might be ordering a batch of shoes from you. Yeah, so I'm like, well, they may be kind of expensive, people, but
Zane's
I guess
stats with a Z,
Yeah.
STA or stats. I looked it up so I didn't make a butthead of
Okay.
myself. So
Okay. Well, anyway, Zane, you probably don't watch this, but we might be hitting you up for how we can get some of these beautiful kicks for people, because they were fantastic. And I was so afraid it was going to ruin them. And it's
yeah,
kind of ironic because it was Mother's Day weekend. So, because of where I am and leaving on Sunday, I had to spend time with my girls on Saturday instead of Sunday. So Helen and I had gone to lunch, and when we were at lunch, I went, I don't have my Blizzness shoes because I have my custom shoes
yep.
that I designed and I didn't have them. And so I sent her home to get my shoes before the game. And then after she was home and on her way back to the arena, I said, "Oh, never mind. I got new shoes."
Yeah,
So it was awesome. It was a behind the scenes of behind the scenes because it was you, it was Helen, and it was
yeah.
Larry all trying to determine my shoe size and what have you. So
That's
it was
awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
great young man. So, and I don't think they crazy with all the kids stuff going. He and sports that I think he's made all of the games so far. So,
He has, and he's a great fan. He was a little upset with one of our players who said since game one that he would get a ball.
oh boy,
I'll be talking to
why
said
we don't
player.
promise game balls?
We can't, but I was hoping he'd get one. But speaking of game balls, we ran out.
Yep. We had the thing that happened on Uper night happen again, where late in the game I got a message. What I thought was the same message from both Trinklers, but it was for different reasons. That we were about out of footballs to play with on the field, and we were at the last six in the merch stand when I took the message. So
So it's so funny because I sent you the message that I did after I had gone down to the bench and I
yep,
asked Haley at the bench, I said, "Hey, can you bring me, some balls?" And she's like, "We're down to six." And so then I'm like, "Caitlin, put some aside for me." And she's like, "Well, do you want them now?" And then all of a sudden I see Lance running through the stands and I'm thinking,
I just
dude gave them to the wrong person.
yeah,
Why is
I
he
had
running
two
down to the bench?
messages saying we need game balls. Yeah.
So I was like going to shout to him, "Lance, those are for me," but they weren't for me.
Yes, but it was
Anyway.
awesome.
Yes, it was
In
good.
support of
And
Ribbon of Hope for the night. So we had huge shout out to Eric Martin because it was done in a couple PA reads, which I know are tough to hear at the games, but one of our partners had matched 10% on all Blizzard merch sales up to 10 grand. So it could max out at $1,000. It was good math there, but I had it in writing right in front of me. So
someone else
I
did
am
it.
reading from a script. No, that he was going to donate to the cause for the night, which is great. And he brought 170 plus people on a bus from his area, including a great cheer team, and it was just true definition of the word partner. So
He really is. Green RX, they both are. I mean, we talk about him all the time, but there's
Cass,
somebody else.
yeah. Cass might watch this more than he does. So Cass, thank you, and I shot you a message afterwards. That was pretty awesome. So
Yeah, I love that they get behind the causes as well as the football. It's not just about football to them, it's about community, not just in the Green Bay community, but also in their community. So they brought a cheer team along who did really good. I mean,
yep,
they were fantastic cheers on the field. There were people in the stands, and I was very impressed with our fans because they stayed in the stands to watch them, which was awesome. It's
yes,
fabulous. And I almost missed my halftime appearance on our feed because I was watching them. And then all of a sudden, Joey's standing next to me, and I went, "Oh, I'm supposed to be on the air with you."
yes.
So,
That sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah. So, oopsie. Um, but anyway, that was fantastic. It was all about Ribbon of Hope. You did mention that. We gave away through a raffle, so nothing was given. It was a
Yep.
raffle. And then we also had some that we auctioned off as well. So I don't know how the auction went. I mean,
Good.
did we make some money on those as well, or
Yes. Yep. I mean, there were all four totaled about $900. So
excellent, excellent.
and it
And
wouldn't be the one you thought it would that had the highest bid. I don't know if it actually
really
increases. So, yep.
excellent.
Yep.
Um, I will say this, we have to set aside number 55 for the Parks family.
Okay.
Um, That one was not one that got auctioned off, or raffled off, but they were like, we'll auction that for you. And I'm like, okay, we'll put that aside for you once we clean it.
Yeah,
Um,
and in the craziest, real cool showing from, and this is just the behind the scenes because I would be the only person that knew this unfolded. So Mount Horeb, Sauk Prairie, you name it, like there were so many people there from that community that two people that won jersey raffles were actually people that had coached Max. So here we are without seven available in the raffle, and both of them are like, "How do I get that one?" I'm like, "This is actually really cool. Let me work on this on Monday." One guy picked Patron, sorry. So he was taken care of, but actually Matt's high school coach, I believe, won one of the jerseys, and he's like, this would go up in our school. And so there was just a whole bunch of real cool from that community that happened on Saturday. So
so here's another irony. I'm in line with a woman and I said, "Oh, hey, did you win that tonight?" And she says, "Yes, I bought one raffle ticket and I won this jersey." And she said, "Oh, where did you get yours? How much did you spend?" And I went, "Well, I spent a lot more than you did. I
yeah,
bought all
you
of
should have
them."
rattled off the 12-year total of owning the team.
I should have. But the irony was not that, it was that she was part of the original cheer squad or dance team, I should say, for the Blizzard, the very
Oh,
first,
wow.
right, the very first one, even prior to Art owning the team.
That's
So
crazy.
it was before we even were called the Blizzard because at that time they were still trying to figure out what the name would be.
Yeah.
So you talk about irony that she had that jersey on and then she had her two little girls with her and she's like,
I
"Oh,
know
it was
exactly who that is then because it wasn't going to fit either of them. So, and I ran up to handle the raffle. So, yep.
oh, that's awesome." So
Yep.
yes, and it turned out that she was a former and she said that the team was almost the Green Bay Grillers.
Wow.
Thank goodness we came up with Blizzard. Thank you, our super fan who did that.
Yep.
So anyway, it was cool. It was cool to see. It was great to see all the participation, and the crowd got loud. I see that we hit some of the distillery,
Yeah. All of
and
them.
Little Jamaica.
Yep.
Yeah, so why don't you go through those that we have? That's a behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah. And when people see this, you'll have 3 days left to go take advantage of those. So, Jamaica, if we put up 14 or more in the first or third quarter, you get $5 off a $20 purchase or more. So that's active at Little Jamaica this week only. Show your ticket stub or proof of your ticket stub, or show the post. All those restaurants would love your business. Um, I understand the world of showing your ticket stub has changed a lot. So Green Bay Distillery is 30% off a single menu item this week only, and that's for missed kicks of the visiting team. Mark Winter, I know you watched this, so don't read kicks for sticks for the visiting team making 2 point kicks. He got
Right.
all the way through the read when that game opened with the deuce, and I'm like, yeah, he knows what he did. So, yeah.
So, and that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Not only that we have that participation, not that Mark did what he did,
Yeah.
but we can still give kicks for sticks to people because we made a deuce.
We sure did. That was a great exchange on a great kick. It was awesome. It was really cool, not because he missed the extra point, because he missed the extra point and then made the deuce. And I'm like, yeah, he's good. He's got it now. So yep.
Well, and let's talk about that a little bit. So, brand new kicker,
Yep.
coming out of Michigan. He was part of the national championship when Michigan was in the championship. He has been in NFL camps already. There is no doubt he's got a powerhouse leg. I
Yeah.
mean, when that thing left his toe or foot, however we're going to call it had so much strength behind it. It's like, okay, we might need to back off a little bit
Yeah.
just in case, but a lot of power in that leg. And obviously our uprights are a little bit narrower, right?
Yep.
So, you know, it was his first time kicking in the arena. I did see him right before the game and I said, so, and I know you can't mess with kickers, so it's probably my fault. But I said, so this is your first time in an arena, right? And he's like, yeah, it's first time today. And I said, you know, you're not supposed to hit that thing up top, right? And he said, oh, we're not aiming for that. And I'm like, wait, no,
Nice.
don't, no.
Yeah.
So anyway, it
Yeah, he's
was,
good.
good
I
game.
we we do this because of the entertainment and being involved in the community first and foremost, but getting these young men promoted is right on top of that. And I mean, what a track record if we move on from another kicker this season. Not something you want to happen from the football side, but that this one deserves as well too. And he's had a taste of the NFL, so I hope that's the case. So
Yeah. No, it would be great. I mean, he's still probably on people's minds and he'll have some clear footage to
yeah,
give. I mean, that deuce is a great example of something that the NFL wouldn't mind.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, very, very nice guy too. So welcome. Welcome to Blizzard football.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so let's talk about the drone show because I think it was a success.
yeah.
The poor little drone that stayed on the field the whole time
Yeah,
that
I know
wanted to
Matt watches
participate.
this, so yeah,
It was sitting there. I felt so bad for the little drone. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, he's sitting there
yeah.
changing colors and he's got all the colors right. He's just not off the ground.
Yep. So in a total behind the scene moment, like we thought we were dealing with a 5 to 8 minute changeover, which we were, but every bit of Wi-Fi possible could interfere with the drone signal. So the stats were being uploaded to the league website at that time, and we had to literally wait for the send to finish to not mess up stats in order to unplug that Wi-Fi. And while that window was going on, when I was texting you, Jason from Lighthouse and Matt could actually see interference on their end, and we wonder if when we sent the information packet in the rush we did, if drone whatever his number is didn't get the message, but it was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, well, thank goodness it was only one, right? I mean,
Yes, yep,
otherwise we would have had to have almost restarted
yeah,
um, the show. But kudos to you, Ryan, and the rest of the team, Matt, all those guys, even Lighthouse, because it was seamless to the audience. They had no idea it was happening. Vetrano took a little bit of time, handed back to Winter. I mean, it was good. It was all good. Um, Everybody got to count down, and then it went dark, and it was
yeah.
fabulous. It
I
really looks good.
literally, when Simon sent me 50% and we had clipped the 6 minute mark, I think I texted Vetrano and we're like, go, just do
Do
something.
something.
Yeah, literally is what it said on my phone.
Well, but that's behind the scenes, right?
Yeah,
Whenever you do something operationally like that, we've never done it before. We probably never would have thought that the signal from the game was going to be an issue. But in true IFL fashion, we always try to get our stuff uploaded right away
yep,
rather than waiting. So we did the right thing. And like I said, the audience didn't know. We had a lot of people that stayed in their seats, so they got the message to stay seated. And it wasn't like it took forever. I'm sure the
no,
win helped because they
yes,
saw some players on the field and what have you. Um, yeah, so it was a really good thing to do. And
cool.
who knows? Maybe they'll be back.
Right. Right. I know. I mean, those guys are their own worst critics, right? So the one drone not flying, but they were both thrilled because, like, well, people think that was just a Blizzard thing, but that will have a ripple effect on what the Rush Center could do in their building with drones, whether that's with STEM programs, drone cameras, maybe down the road for us. That was kind of the tip of the iceberg on the yes, this was entertainment, but also the future. So it was kind of cool. So,
Well, and we have the IFL drone
yep.
that's been participating in games. So it's definitely maybe another camera angle. You never know. I
Great.
mean, what we can do with it. So
Cool.
really excited to have that ability within the Rush Center.
Yeah,
That's
and on
really
the
cool.
business side, that and I kudos to you, Kathy, that we always get to talk about some of that on here. Like that's not cheap, but it's also cool for me that you trusted me and we were able to support a friend's business. Jason from Lighthouse and Matt Wood, like I don't think people know all they do for us. So that had a double feel good there. We put on a really good show and supported an incredible company. So they run that business separate from PMI and Lighthouse. That's on Final Effects that Jason and Matt do as their side hustle. And it was really cool to trust them and support them with that. So, because they do a lot for us.
They do, including Matt putting up the netting behind
Yeah,
the
he
net,
is the one that does
behind
that.
the
Yeah,
uprights.
yeah.
Because I was coming out of the locker rooms well before the game and just said, "Hey, can I walk on the field?" And he's like, "You're asking me?" I'm like, "Well, you're
Yeah,
putting the
you
net up.
own
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
it's not mine yet. We're not
yeah.
playing."
Nice.
Anyway, all good, and thank you to you guys because it really It looked fabulous. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was cool.
And having the ribbon on there was really cool. I
Yep.
saw quite a few people that I know that made posts that included the ribbon in their posts from the game.
Yeah, and I
So
think where they were so frustrated is the drone that didn't fly was the one that was supposed to be at the top of the ribbon. So yeah,
yeah, and you could see where he was supposed to be in
yeah,
formation. You could always see where the little hole was, but
yeah.
still, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. All
Awesome.
right. So because of the drone show, we had to move everybody up top to the second level. Our guys were celebrating a little too long in the locker room because there were a lot of fans up there wondering if they were even going to show up. Um, and I didn't realize how far 215 is around the way. So when I got out of our seats, I went to the right instead of to the left. So I walked around pretty much the entire arena before I'm like, okay, I could have gone just the other way out of my seats, but it was cool to have them up there. I really thought it was going to be more congested than it was. Not saying this is how we should do it moving forward because
Right.
there were some hiccups. I mean, this is behind the scenes. So as some time is ticking down and I know that we were well at that 20-minute mark, I looked at the big security dude. I mean,
Yeah.
the big guy, and
Yep.
said, and I don't think he knows who I am, but I looked at him and I said, "So how are you going to get all these people out of here?" And he's like, "We have a plan." And
Well, yeah.
I said, "Okay, but I mean, we're going to hear the horn, I'm sure, but
No,
then this is
no,
like,
you almost did it. So another behind the scenes is
oh, boy.
they powered everything down, and I'm in the hall with Matt, who's congratulating his entire drone team. And I look at the board and I'm like, dude, the clock's off. We've clipped the 20 minutes. Someone's got to hit the horn. So we almost had forgot to because the horn was when we were over a 20-minute fifth quarter. Yes. So yep.
Oh, and there we have it. There's some
Yep.
other stuff that happened. So, um, but lots of fans got things signed. The guys didn't have their jerseys on, so nobody knew who was who. Um, so there was another like, oh yeah, they probably should have kept their jerseys on. But a lot of these guys, the kids know from schools and stuff like that. The gentleman that makes the cards for the players, what's his name?
Yes. Eric Eric R.
Eric R. Well,
Yep.
Eric R. had designed, and I saw a couple of them not last night, but during at the game. He made up a signature sheet that I don't know if that was the starting lineup at the beginning of the season. It can't be for every game, but it's kind of like not really laminated,
Okay.
but it's something that the players can sign. It has a sheen to it, so more like a photo, but it's
Sure.
got all their numbers on it.
Hmm.
And the kids were handing it to the players to sign where their name was, and it was really cool. It's a neat. I think it's like 8.5 by 11. It might even be
Oh, that's
smaller than
cool.
that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's really cool. So I don't know where he was handing that out, but he handed it out to some kids because some kids had it. It'd be a cool thing if he's watching this for us to take to schools. I mean,
Yeah,
it makes sense to do that for kids to then bring to the games.
for sure.
And I have a photo. So this is a photo of Jeremiah. Jeremiah made up his own little, those projects that you'd have to do in school that had the three walls to them.
Yep.
He has a small one of that with players' pictures in action shots. I mean, this took some time to develop, but he's got their photos, and then he was walking around with this for the players to sign. So people make their own keepsakes, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool, on how or what they want signed, which I thought was neat. And then you see the moms with the babies getting the onesies signed, and
I
you
know.
see
Yep.
jerseys and kids jerseys and footballs, and we had silver pens, so it was pretty
Hmm.
cool, that because we had the black footballs this time, so players were signing with the silver pens, which was pretty cool. I did see as I'm leaving, um, we had a guy, he was in a scooter, and he's a fan I've seen plenty of times, and I don't know, can the scooters come on the field for fifth quarter?
They PMI usually helps them. I think they do.
Because I have never
Maybe.
really seen the scooters on the field. And I don't know his condition if he can walk or has crutches or what have you, but I see him with a Sharpie and I'm like, "Hey, that was really smart. Did you bring that Sharpie?" And he went, "Oh, um, no. A
It's yours.
player handed this to me." And I said,
Yeah,
"They probably handed it to you with the ball, not even thinking."
right.
So I said, "Oh, I need that back because I need to get that to Cass. She's going to want that back."
Yep.
So
Sharpies are
anyway,
not souvenirs. Public service announcement.
yes, they are not. We need them. They get expensive when you have to keep
They do.
replacing them.
Yep.
Anyway, so all in all, really good game. Um, it was nice to be back home. We made a difference with the fans. We didn't have a packed house like we have, but it was a gorgeous Saturday on Mother's Day weekend. And we kind of anticipated attendance would be a little lower, but what did we have for a number?
49.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm not that, it was still pretty good then. So
Yes.
um,
But
it
I
definitely was
warned the
loud.
team about that, right? Because it's very easy to fall into a trap when you've been over six, 3 games in a row, and those games are in 15 days. Like,
Right.
and I remember what it was when you guys bought the team, and it's easy to think that a 2,500 person crowd, if we get one in a warm weather game, is like you didn't do your job. So those people that
Right.
work for us listening, that's not the case. It's
No.
Wisconsin. We literally put 6 games of attendance in 3 games to start the season. So it's good
Right.
job.
I mean,
So yep.
right. We do that on purpose. And if Todd's watching this, he's gonna be like, "See you guys, you can get him in something." I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, Todd,
no,
stop.
no, we don't want to play in
Stop.
June and July next year. I know that's hard on the team, but we don't. We don't want that in our arena because we just can't get the people in the stands.
Yeah,
Now we're doing some creative marketing for our June and July games. Military night, people show up. I mean, that is and has historically been a June game.
yeah,
But we'll see
yep,
what happens with Christmas in July, right?
yep, yeah.
So, all right. That was a lot.
Yes. So on the road this week, view party will be at D2. The view parties will be D2 or the still, I'm sorry, yeah, D2 or the bar moving forward. So,
Yeah, and the bar has a great venue. We just had
yep,
some Wi-Fi issues, which I think we can address for the next time we're
yep,
there, for those of you that were at the bar. D2 isn't as open or big, but I mean, we can still open up. If it gets warm in there, there's still those overhead doors that can
yes.
be opened up where we are, and still a great venue and a great partner with us
So
for a
yeah,
watch
stay
party.
tuned on social. Ben will post that this week. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the week after that, we're on a bye. So enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, but we'll be on this show before then.
yeah, we have one episode and then off for Memorial Day. It's on a Monday, and I assume no strictly on Memorial Day. Like now we're way
No.
behind the scenes. Yes, cool. So episode
We're
next week,
behind the
fans.
scenes behind.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
yes.
behind the scenes. So I did have some, in speaking of behind the scenes, we did have people give me some suggestions because we asked for it of who to have on the show. So we had the behind the scenes wives.
All
Ryan
right,
just laughs.
great.
Um,
She'll
but
love
we
that.
also had, yeah, we had suggestions for like Matt.
Yeah,
That's behind the scenes. He's with PMI and does a lot for us. He could
sure.
probably say a few things. He might
Oh
have
my
to get
gosh.
permission.
Yes.
He might have to get permission. But even Lighthouse, everything
Yeah,
that goes into what we have there, those are all key partners that we have. That would be kind of cool to have on it because we're talking behind the scenes. We're talking about stuff that happens that nobody would know unless they really watch this show and follow you and me. So.
right. Yep. No, I love those ideas. Both those two. Matt will be easier than Jason as Jason hits summer festival scenes, but those are outstanding guests. So I will effort them.
Yeah, and people don't realize this lighthouse, if you're going to something over the summer in the Green Bay area and even south,
Yeah, they've
and
probably got
north,
their hands in it or they've passed up on it. One of the two.
yep,
So,
it's
yep.
lighthouse is involved. I'm telling you, these guys are everywhere and throughout the Midwest. It's not just Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They do quite a bit. So, anywho, that's what I know.
Same. Well,
Now comes the dreaded.
yeah, yeah. Well, I want you to enjoy where you're at. So we will definitely attempt to hit them with it. It'll be great. But what else you got?
I got nothing.
All right. Should we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
I don't know which way I'm going. Go Blitz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.